Alright, well, we're going as a skeleton to show that we don't have any fur. No fur. I guess animals have skeletons. But do they have exposed skeletons exclusively? It's pretty far from fur, if you ask me. I actually have a very, very interesting thing that I want to talk about that I think is I think it's a good discussion. It's not very pleasant, maybe. But it's one I brought up a while ago that I want to talk about again. And I want people to weigh in, the few people who are here. How do you guys feel about overpopulation and population control methods? Which I do not mean murdering kids. I mean, like, okay, so in the Ender's Game book series, the planet Earth is kind of under discussed, but the planet Earth is facing like an overpopulation crisis. And Andrew Wiggin, I think it's Wiggin, is what is referred to as a third. Usually, you know, kids, parents have one kid because they're trying to curtail the rising global population, which is viewed as a hugely problematic thing because of limited resources, etc., etc. It kind of mimics the supposed, you know, one child in China rule that was around for a little while for that country. It's not really a place, and they've kind of like backed off from any, at least outspoken documentation of like limiting the number of children in China and North Korea and stuff like that that people can have, because, you know, no one likes to be told that they can't produce kids. Family is historically meant to be a big swollen thing where everyone has a million kids and their legacy lives on forever through their genetic heritage or whatever. Well, there's two things that can happen, and there's one that I think everyone would prefer. And that is, like, you know, external exploration, going out, colonizing the moon, Mars, the solar system at all, space habitats, things like that. Then you want population growth essentially forever. As long as resources persist, population growth is fundamentally positive. You look at developing nations, it's always on the backs of great booms in population that you get development. India, China, you know, there's so many examples. Mexico, a lot of countries where population leads nearly directly into development. You have a higher labor force, you have a greater body of people to work on things, you have a greater pool of collected knowledge, you have more people with a greater number of specialties all working together, and that's how you get, you know, you don't stagnate as a country. And if the human race was expanding and developing outside of planet Earth, then well, there are actually three solutions to this. You know, the end of resources being an issue is kind of two of them, though. One is through expansion outward. Two is through efficiency and synthetics, where, you know, fake meat is made and it uses a much smaller percentage of resources, and eventually it leads to a sustainable situation through other means, through expanding the materials that we have. I don't think it's cheaper, and I don't think it'll be cheaper for a while, but they have the groundwork where if it's accepted, because I've listened to things about Schmeat and the Beyond Burger and things like that. If it just is going to take more people buying it and it being more available for us to get to that point. Be good. Shock rounds are fucking good. Shock rounds are fucking good. However, I do think we still... yeah, dude, I love the Beyond Burger. There's a place that that sells it in my neighborhood. It's sold at like some restaurants out here, but it's also, or at some grocery stores, but it's also sold at a restaurant out here, and it's fucking incredible. I get it every time we go. The Beyond Burger is one pillar of moving towards meatlessness, but there's other things that have to be fixed. You know, population density is an issue. You know, there's a lot of examples of, like, mostly in sci-fi, where they build towers to deal with the growing number of people. Living becomes more vertical, or they're like sky buildings or whatever, shit like that. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're living in the space station or on the moon or Mars maybe not so much, but the moon, you're gonna be eating, well, maybe even on Mars, until they can build domes of adequate size. But you're gonna be living on algae for a long time until they can synthesize meat. However, you know, the third thing and the most realistic for the world in which we currently live is population control. And that's the thing that no one feels comfortable saying. No one wants to be the one to say, like, hey, you can't have a third. You can't have, unless the government tells you for some reason it's requiring you to, you can't have that third kid. I think it's ridiculous to be outnumbered by your children, and it's not something that I would ever really be looking forward to. I got a coworker who just had his third kid, and it was completely unexpected, and it was, and they're just kind of rolling with it. But, like, fuck that. Like, I don't want to have a smaller number of votes, even though my votes would weigh more heavily, but be losing in a democratic system with those kids, with 3 fucking kids and 2 parents. It's ridiculous. But what's the alternative is slow starvation. I mean, population control is used. See, incentives only go so far. Incentives, well, I agree they are. Ooh, baby. Incentives, well, I think that is the most expressly humane way to do it. They teach treachery in a way. Like, I know that there were some issues. So Jackie and I bought an electric vehicle. And part of the reason that the Republicans are ending the electric vehicle thing is because they disagree with, you know, there's so many foreign countries making electric vehicles, it's hurting the American jobs industry, which is bullshit. But the other thing is there are people, like, forging documentation to get the tax return. And there's actually, I thought it was just a small thing, but there's actually a pretty significant number of people who work at car dealerships forging that documentation and getting $7 grand in the mail. And they're like, hey man, if they didn't check for this, it's my right to exploit it. And that's, I mean, I don't want to get into the capitalism thing, but that's a basic tenet of capitalism. If you can make a buck, make a buck. Nothing else matters. But without getting into the capitalism thing like I always do, I think that incentivization will only work on some people. And the thing is, when you get to the point where we already have too many people, even keeping it even would be a problem. You know, Idiocracy did it funny, they did it lighthearted, but like, it is very much the case that like, it's super easy for a lot of people to just have kids and have kids and have kids. And it'll pretty much lead to armed rebellion on a global scale, or at least national scale. That's fine. If people don't want to be told how many kids they can have. But like, yeah, people using kids for welfare is fucked up. And people like saying like, hey, I can't afford all these kids, but I'm not gonna fucking stop having kids, you can't tell me what to do, is also fucked up. Yeah, I see people abusing welfare too. I think that I see more money being abused through big business welfare, which people are less willing to like shit on, but is much more of a problem in my mind. All of the bailouts for big businesses very, very much outweigh the number of people taking advantage of like having an extra kid so they can make an extra buck. And that goes back to the capitalism thing of, hey, if you can make a buck, make a buck. It's just kind of shit on when it's trashy poor people doing it, and it's overlooked when it's rich factory farms doing it. But, however, we're not talking about capitalism, we're talking about population control. I am probably the wrong person for this because I mean, I talked about it in another video. When I was younger, I joined this group. Alright. Well, I don't think it's like they're having children to get more welfare. It's that instead of being responsible, they intentionally allow it to happen and roll with it, and then say, we'll get another check in the mail when Junior the 4th pops out. And it's fucked up. But again, I believe that happens to a much smaller degree than big businesses not paying their taxes or expecting bailouts or receiving subsidies and shit to keep their businesses afloat happens in this country, but people don't care. They're like, oh, the government's there to help out businesses. Yeah, it is, but these businesses are going to do... It's like... So the internet in the United States is laughable compared to Europe. Laughable compared to South Korea. Laughable compared to a big chunk of Japan, and most likely huge areas of you know, high population density in China. We don't really know for sure. Because the government did exactly that. They gave $500 billion, I think it is, to telecommunications companies in order to modernize and update the fiber optics networks. And, you know, Virgin, Comcast, AT&T, Southern Bell, I think a couple other ones, all decided to hire lawyers or legal teams to find loopholes and keep the money for themselves. The vagina's not a clown car. Oh, fuck. Man, we did not make enough money. I am gonna get the coolness, though, and ignore these two chests. What was I saying before I started talking about this game? Oh yeah, but you know, there's just so many examples of what am I doing? Of businesses being the greatest welfare queens in the country, but still everybody trashing on the lower class. It's kind of like who's actually doing it worse? Is it the people who look bad because they're using their bad state and they're not working their way out of it? Yes, they're bad. They're fucked up, and they're abusing a system that's actually like fundamentally meant to help people. But so is ConAgra and BB&T, or not BB&T, but Bank of America and Wells Fargo. But, you know, they get kind of a pass because they're a business and there's so many people's money tied to it that don't want to see that business failed. I mean, I still use Bank of America. I don't use Wells Fargo because there wasn't one where I lived. But I still think it's fucked up that the whole freaking economy tanked and led to the Great Recession that essentially kicked me out of my profession of choice. Oh boy. You know, a lot of 54-cent fantastic items. It's not just like, and that's the thing that a lot of people seem to think is like, why do we need faster than 200 megabytes a second? Why do we need, you know, a complete network of 4G? Well, because it's not just about like streaming and being able to watch Hulu everywhere. It's also about like being able to handle emergencies. It's about having, you know, updated stocks and pricing things. It's about being, you know, being able to be aware of everything that's happening. No, I wanted that fucking curse. Oh well. But that's beside the point. The reason I brought it up was like, welfare queens are not just people in trailer parks getting an extra $400 a month from the government. Like, that's part of it, and it's a shitty part. And it, oh my god, I couldn't even see what was fucking happening. Walked around a blind corner. Oh well. But back to the initial conversation. Okay, we lost our thing. Let's just go fight the boss. How do you convince people that it's in the best interest of everyone to only have 2 kids or fewer? There's already some people that like can't or don't want to have kids, and that's like, it's all well and good and it helps keep the numbers low, but those people who, like, my mom had 17 kids, we're a very family focused family. Why, how dare you limit how many kids I have? If I can afford to feed them, then blah 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 blah. There's no end to the argument. I don't think there's a way to convince them to adhere to the same rule of population control without it turning into like a military state, you know? Aging photo is okay. I just always wonder about stuff like that. Like, there's going to be a point where someone's going to be in office and has to make the call Or the world as a whole is going to be like, hey guys, Michael here from Vsauce. No, like, they're gonna have to pull the trigger on, like, enacting limitations on that stuff. Like, it's gonna have to happen. And no one wants to be the one to do it. No one wants to even be the body that's present to do it. How much shit does this give us? Ammo shrine 3.5. That's fine. 3.5 is pretty good. We need to make some money. I mean, yeah, I think that's exactly why it hasn't been brought up in any serious way as of yet. I should have done this at the end of the fucking floor. Because no one's gonna get fucking voted if, like, I'm the candidate of you're not allowed to have kids. Like, that's not a platform you want to be spearheading. That's a platform you might secretly vote yes for and not tell your constituents, but you do not want to be the guy that said what, you know, sensationalist news reporters will say, we're coming to kill your children. Like, alright, well, I think that's quite enough of the fossilized gun for now. We didn't make the 54 cents for that, so... You'll take a rocket. Sucks. This, all right. We're good. We're going. Things are great. We're still at starting HP, but we're not the only country, dude. Anti-vaxxers are a plague. A serious and legitimate plague that, yeah, I don't know. Like, freedom of speech, freedom of right to, like, oh yeah, I'm not saying that this is something we need to solve now. I'm not saying that at all. I just wanted something to talk about that wasn't furries. And it was something that I've been kind of, like, thinking about a little bit. When my wife's mom was in town, we were talking about it and how fucked up it is. And she was like, just like, I don't know, maybe the research isn't all there. Maybe I mean, she vaccinated her kids. But she's like, you know, the ideal situation is everybody else gets vaccinated and then you don't have to because there's no one to spread it. And I was like, that's not the ideal. That's you saying you should be able to skip the rules. You should be able to put your own kid at risk. What? Like, I just don't. I mean, vaccinations have been proven to work since, like, the early 20th century. They have been linked with absolutely nothing. I don't think there's anything to be... I'm skeptical about pretty much everything, but vaccinations are one of those things that are, like... Oh, yeah. They're one of those things that have a significant body of well-documented proof and ineffectiveness. And people that are just using Google search results to counteract it and listening to Jenny McCarthy and Jim Carrey, like, they're fucking monsters. Like, not only being willing to sacrifice potential autism for the life of their child, but to potentially suggest everyone else catch these horrible diseases as well. We had a customer at the place where I work sit at the bar who was a confirmed measles case. And we were not allowed to say anything while the customers were there. But we basically had to ask him to leave. Like, very calmly, and, you know, then, like, section off that area of the bar and fucking sanitize it. Because a deadly disease that was, I mean, the Pacific Northwest right now is, you know, this is ground zero, this shit, like. I don't know what you mean by that, but there is, you can not synchronize, but there is a tendency for hormonal flow among women to propagate nearer to each other in tight quarters. But you have to spend like all of your fucking time together. Like all of your time. You're not gonna just get it by being in the same high school or same homeroom class or whatever. What are you talking about? I read about that in my psychology class in documented cases. I think it's one of those, like the way that I think a Google search is not the way to find out whether something's true. Oh my god, fucking Table Tech rockets. It's not as simple as that. The like return rate of a menstrual cycle is variable. Before my wife was on birth control, sometimes her cycle was... No, there were much more recent ones than that. It's not something that people... It is something that people way the fuck back in the day just kind of accepted, and it's not easy to do. It's literally like living in a convent together, and only seeing each other. Okay, well, when I was in college before the year 2013, there was evidence pointing in the other direction, so it might have been misproven. Oh god. But it's not, no one has an exactly 28 or 29 day cycle. It's a wildly fluctuating thing that's based on a number. Oh my fucking lord. This might be the end of my fucking thing. But it's not like your cycle is exactly 28 days. And someone's exactly 29 days. Dude, this might be the end of my fucking streak. I need to buy health. Or something. Fuck. I don't know. That's one that I'm not studying every day, but if I needed to, I could look into it, and I might 100% be wrong. I would love to have more documentation on it. However, it's not something that I'm going to make a decision on for anybody else's life. That's cool. That's good to know. However, using the internet to prove a point is kind of the argument of the anti-vaxxers. But that's very likely true. That one is. I don't like to use use a basic search engine to find proof of seeing something else. I need like scientific papers and the like. Come on. And it's something that I really like to look into more deeply myself, if it's something that I'm going to make a major decision based on. I'm not going to make a major decision based on whether women have their periods together. Table Tech Stun is great. I think I'm going to go ahead and drop Table Tech Rockets. I'm really actually fucking nervous about this run. Like, there has... What is Fairy Bow? It likely is chance. It's just weird because if it's just, man, give me some fucking armor. If it's just chance, there are so many. Oops. Well, I guess there's so many chance. It's one of those confirmation bias things. You see it happen, and you're like, yep, that's proof. Whereas when you see it not happen, you're just like, that doesn't prove nor deny anything. It's like people believing that they're more likely to have babies during the full moon. People like to credit the full moon for a lot of stuff because it's this big noticeable thing that's going on. But if you just look at a spreadsheet, there are, you know, days when babies are born and the phases of the moon, there's no correlation whatsoever. But the moon is this like magical thing to a lot of people. It's you wouldn't have a huge sample size just because you would need people to like lock themselves together to test it. And I don't think you can get people to lock themselves together for months on end. It can't just be like, hey, we hung out a couple days for this month or even for a single month to really get a good test. That's why the stuff that I was reading was experiments done over 6-month periods. And this is back in 2004 or 5. I can't remember when I took Psych 1. But it was a 6-month period of people pretty much isolated together. And that's a single test, so there does need to be reproducibility. But that's cool to know that, like, the consensus is that it's moved in the other direction. Jesus Christ. Humans are very, very pattern-based people. We like to see meaning in things that may or may not be there. Because that's a great survival tactic. It's the only way we developed agriculture was, hey, when I drop these seeds in this area and then water it, it seems like there's more food later on. Hey, when I come to the watering hole at this point in time, it seems like there's more animals. Those patterns are extremely, extremely helpful, and they're extremely, like, pleasant to our brain. And I think that that's part of the reason that, like, it's so hard to disprove things. You read online that one person... Oh, please be... Okay, challenge mode. Please don't kill me. Where's the room? Did I not... Did I win? What the fuck? I've never seen it mess up like that. I mean, I lost my right to gun force because I thought... Okay. That's fucking weird. Yeah, no, I'm pretty good at this game. I'm also at 5.5 curse, which is closing in on the upper limit of where I want to be. Dude, I gotta be fucking careful for the rest of this run. Start summoning again, please. Yo, what the why was he charging me down like that? Dude, I am fucking scared about this run. Okay, we're gonna use a lot of blanks. We gotta use all of our advantages. Our damage sucks ass. That's a major problem. When I say our, I mean me and the robot. Oh, I didn't know the fish block bullets. Oh boy, that was a lot of shots. And there's, I'm so happy. This gun sucks though, so hey, we managed a gun force though. It's always weird to think about how susceptible we are to misinformation, how we have like this crazy desire for our biases to be confirmed. Like we want to think the things we already think. Like I found myself while you were talking about it, like getting a little defensive, like, no, it's gotta be true. I read a thing, you know, freaking 15 years ago about it. And then I was like, what? No, I'm fucking wrong. Like, it's more likely that the later research is the truer. And it's just insane for me to think that like the bias I brought into the discussion was the right one, but we're all susceptible to that shit. I remember seeing that shit on the news, and it fucked me up. It's just, like, we're fundamentally flawed in that regard. Like, pattern recognition is why we see faces in fucking every... You've gotta be fucking shitting me, you shitty... Oh my god, why is she here? We could get the pig if we had a little bit more money. You know how we could get a little bit more money? Why run? Why blow my balls like this? Why do you have to treat me like this? Table tech bees. I'm very happy now. Oh, that's not the right one. Wait a second. Okay, let's chest these out. What? Okay, that's cool. Too bad the Gungeon Ant sucks. Oh, you need blanks, okay. What was the other one I got? Smart bombs? None of those are as amazing as I'd like. You know what I would really like is Queen Ant. God, I'm so fucking pissed at this room. The pig right now would assuage my fear of death greatly. And the promise and then freaking theft of the pig does the exact opposite. Unswages. Ooh, it's like sticky bombs, too. Whoa! Doot-dee-doot-dee-dot-doot-deet. Okay, that one probably... This one, not so much. Man, we have shit when it comes... We have bees for bosses. That's it. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You better not chase me into here. Yep. Oh my god. Wow. Jesus fucking Christ. I love how I'm always like, oh man, I totally shouldn't play as the robot at the start of a run, or the start of a stream, because then I'm not practiced. And then I fucking do a follow-up thing as the robot, and I'm like, suffering. This is just like hell for hell. And for weapons, jeez, it's like boss stuff. Whoa. Oh yeah, homing bullets. Dude, I'm gonna take some damage in this room too. Fuck. The hammer's gonna screw me up. Woo! Holy fuck. Can't afford either of those. Well, conversation is pretty much ended because I'm clenching my butthole for the rest of this run. That pig thing is such a slap in the face. No keys from the shop. Extra blank is good, but it's not going to win anything by itself. What? Oh. Got teleported. Oh, this is the least prepared I am for bullet hell, and the least prepared I've been in a very long time. Pop up. Get the fuck out of here. Whoa! It's like a hand made out of lightning. Ooh, if I can get 104 and get the rad gun, I'd feel a little bit more safety. I guess keep what's kind of working. Why does this one seem so strong? So every room is another chance to make more money to get the thing, but every room is also a chance to take... Dude, how am I dropping so little money when I have, like, wazoos of curse? Yeah, I'm going to try to take advantage of everything I can, which I don't feel like is very much. I don't have money. I don't have money, I don't have keys, and I don't have a fucking way to... I don't have a way to, I don't have a way to turn this around. Did he die? Oh, thank God. He died of poison. Please be dead. Please don't be alive any longer. Okay. Well, that's it. That's fucking it. I'm gonna go ahead and destroy this now and at least get the thing. We didn't get the thing. Oh, okay, I see it on the chat thing, it's all fucked up. On my, on Chatty it doesn't look too cool. But I see it now. I need to know. Is it gonna just fall off? Yeah, it's just gonna fall off, okay. Oh my god, I almost fucked up that dodge roll. Okay, blank. We had to use both of our blanks, like, back to back. And we're fucked. Yeah, this run is a loss. It's the end of the streak. God damn. Come on, game. Well, I feel like I did everything I could on this run besides play well. Oh, I still had a blank. I didn't do that. Yeah, so I didn't play well. Man. I don't have the weapons to get through three phases of the Lich. I don't really have the weapons to get through one phase of the Lich. We're not going to make the 9 cents that we need to get the rad gun. And we couldn't afford the pig on the last floor, so we don't have a backup chance. No, I'm not. I mean, I'm not gonna cheat the streak. If I'm doing a streak run, it's a streak run. Oh, we did get enough. Okay, so there's that. I think it's in our best interest to drop that, lower our curse a little bit. Look at this trash I have in this disguise of weapons. Damn it. Please don't waste my ammo. Okay, well, let's do it. I love seeing health on the floor that I can't pick up. Like, this is honestly the least number of pieces of armor I've ever had in a run, I feel. I did miss 3 from bosses. From, stupid mistakes. But... oh no, I only missed 2 from bosses, so I'd still... man, this is fucking rough. Oh boy. Whoa, whoa. I kind of feel like I have to save anything that's even slightly decent for the Lich. Okay. Bees. I'm not going to use this on the Lich, so... okay. I am, like, so fucking tense right now. This is the wrong way. I'm gonna do this one completely coward style. Every time it drops a heart, like, my heart drops. It's such a slap in the face. Thank God there was no second freaking phase there. Oh, come on. Reload faster, please. Okay. This feels like the wrong way. Oh, fuck. Nope, no bees on this one. You know what? Let's be smart. And do this with beams. No, I didn't even see the fucking ricochet. Well, that basically seals it. Another robot shriek loss. Why does it seem like that takes so much longer to blow up now? Thank you so much for the fucking hearts game. Just genuine, heartfelt thank you. Heartfelt, haha. Oh boy. Why did I do that? Oh, a room I always get hit in. There we go. Yeah, robot sucks in this situation. I mean, I'd move past him, past the fear of robotics a while back, but, you know, it's so shitty to see so much health on the floor. And that pig, the pig drop is the fucking worst. Dude, didn't I buy the ballot? How have I gotten no fucking armor? Man. Oop. Don't die to fire. Armor, please. Please, armor, please. Oh god, he's still there. Did I go the wrong way again? Oh, it's just hearts all day. I'm waiting for the ice to melt. Like, that's a ridiculous number of hearts that dropped. I rolled into it. I rolled at a slightly wrong angle, and I felt it as soon as I let go. $137. If one piece of armor had fallen on that floor, I would have felt better on it. The last two floors, I didn't get a single piece of armor. Here's some things I took damage to, which I will never ever use again. Not on the robot, at least. Table tech rockets hit me for 1 damage. I got hit about 2 times using the fossilized gun. But still, man, that's like such an incredibly low... oh, and Curse, actually. Curse with no boss weapons fucked me really badly on the dragon. Even though I should have blanked that. Just didn't think I had any blanks. Alright, that's it for this fucking video.